All right, algebra students, in this video we're going to talk about the coordinate plane. So this is kind of a review from classes that you've had in the past. Basically, a coordinate plane is a plane that is divided into four regions used for graphing. Okay, so we have a couple of key terms that you should have seen before, but maybe not for a year or two. First of all, we've got the origin. The origin on this coordinate plane that we've got right here is going to be right smack dab in the middle. And so the origin, let's see, I'll come over here and label it. The origin is going to be right in the middle. It's a point where these two axes meet. And the point is actually 0, 0. And so that is our origin. Okay, it's the dot that would be right in the middle. It's called the origin because that's where you start graphing every single time. The next thing that it asks for us to do is to label the quadrants. Now the quadrants, we use Roman numerals for quadrants, and it starts over here in the upper right-hand corner because those are all positive. And then it goes like a big C for coordinate plane. So the next one would be quadrant number 2 over there, and then quadrant 3 down in the lower left-hand corner, and then quadrant 4. Again, we use Roman numerals for those. So those would be your quadrants. So quadrant 1, upper right, quadrant 2, upper left, quadrant 3, lower left, and then lower right would be quadrant 4. Those are your quadrants. Your x-axis is the one that goes straight across on the bottom. So x-axis, sometimes they're labeled, sometimes they're not. That's the x-axis. The y-axis would be the one that goes up and down. Okay? So some key things that you hopefully remember from years past. Those are some big terms for us that we'll use a lot. An ordered pair, x comma y on a graph. It's a point on a graph. It's a location on that graph. Okay. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to identify the ordered pair and the quadrant for each point that we have listed over there on that coordinate plane in the middle of your page. So if you look, always start at the origin and you count. If you go left, that's negative. If you go down, that's negative. If you go right, that's positive, and if you go up, that's positive. So first off, on the x-axis, 1, 2, 3, so it goes left 3, that's negative 3 for point A. And then you go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So negative 3, comma 4. It was negative 3 because we went left 3. It was positive 4 because we went up 4. And if you look, compare it to the chart that or the graph that we just put up above, that is in quadrant 2. Okay, let's take a look at B. B goes right 2 and then down 3. So right 2 would be a positive 2, down 3 would be a negative 3. And that is in quadrant 4 because it's all the way in the bottom right. The next one, point C. Point C, we don't move right or left, so that is 0. We can have zeros on here. We just move up 2. So it's a positive 2. So we don't move right or left on the x-axis. We just move up 2. That is actually not in a quadrant. We're just going to say it's on the y-axis. Okay. You could put other things there, like you could put in between 1 and 2. You could put not applicable if you wanted to, but we're going to put y-axis just because, I don't know, I wanted to. Anyway, point D. Point D all the way 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 7, so a positive 7, and then up 1, so 7 comma 1, and that is in quadrant 1. All right. The next one, point E. Point E moves left, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Left 4 would be a negative 4, and then we go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down 6, so negative 6. And then anything that is in quadrant 3 will have both negatives there, so that's in quadrant 3. Okay, on the lower left-hand side. And then last but not least, we've got point F. Point F moves left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, left 5, so negative 5 from the origin, and then doesn't move up or down, so 0, comma 0. You still need numbers there, even if you don't move up, down, right, or left, you still need some numbers. And that's not in a quadrant either, so we're going to say that that is on the x-axis. All right. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is a discrete graph and a continuous graph. A discrete graph is a graph of distinct points. Okay, that's why they call it that. Doesn't matter where the points are, it's just a graph of points, basically. So if, for an example over here, let's draw a coordinate plane, and let's just put some points, because it doesn't matter where they are. We're just going to put some points. We have no lines on a discrete graph. Sometimes these are used for scatter plots, sometimes for other things, but a discrete graph is just a graph of some points. A continuous graph is a graph with connected lines and curves. So and it doesn't matter what those lines and curves really look like, not yet anyway, but a continuous graph, it is continuous from one point to the other. So your continuous graph might look something like this, or it could look something different, but it has lines and curves and stuff like that. Okay? So that's a bit of a review for the coordinate plane. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you in class.